Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, and today we're doing a fun one, where we explore the capabilities of both a Spartan super soldier and that of Captain America, to see if he would be capable of being a Spartan and wearing MJOLNIR powered assault armour. I'm likely dancing the line in regards to copyright, but I'll do what I can to keep it entertaining without using too much raw footage so as to cause Disney to block, demonetize or copyright strike my account. I can but hope. In either case, let's dive into the lore of the Spartans first, to get a feel for the baseline we're going for, and then bring in Cap's witnessed capabilities, substantiate them and see how they stack up against the Spartans. Then we can decide if 1. Cap could be a Spartan, 2. If he could wear MJOLNIR armour, and 3. If he can, which class of Spartan could he be? So with that said...
Spartans! Assemble.
So let's establish the Spartan baseline. Now, the physical capabilities of a Spartan are put in place primarily for the super soldier capabilities, although these traits then aid in the ability to wear MJOLNIR armour. Indeed, without them, the Spartans wouldn't be able to wear MJOLNIR armour. The Spartans receive carbide ceramic ossification, muscle protein complex, suprafibrification of neural dendrites, occipital capillary reversal, and a thyroid implant alongside some genetic alterations. Now, these allow the Spartans to grow to nearly 7 foot tall in height, be able to see in near complete darkness while enhancing their visual acuity, sharpness and colour contrast. Their bones are nearly unbreakable. They can lift 3 times their body weight, which is double that of a normal human being, making them 6 times stronger than an average human. They can run at speeds of up to 38 miles per hour and can react 3 times faster than a normal human, and these were all baseline parameters established immediately following augmentation, with comment being passed that over time and over adaptation and acclimation to the new augmentations they would get even faster and even stronger. But we'll go from that absolute minimal baseline because it was shortly after augmentation they first put on MJOLNIR armour. Now, these augmentations are necessary to harness the power of MJOLNIR powered assault armour, as during testing by some unaugmented personnel, the armour reacted so fast and with so much power that it broke the tester's arm. The pain response and twitches that happened as a result were then also interpreted as further movements, causing more damage, leading to more twitches, and this positive feedback loop basically killed the operator. So enhanced physiology is required to use the armour. This is the absolute baseline capabilities of a Spartan fresh out of augmentations, and thus the minimum capabilities we're looking to see if Captain America can match. In our comparison, we'll be referencing the MCU Captain America, as we can substantiate his feats a little easier and with less muddy water than with the comic book counterpart. So how did Steve Rogers get his augmentations? Well, after a series of micro-injections into his major muscle groups, they cause immediate cellular change and increase cell division and cell density through a synthetic protein complex. This enhances the subject's metabolic processes at a rate 4 times that of an average person, and augment the effects of the dopamine, testosterone, adrenaline and various other endorphins and hormones to further amplify physical and mental performances. Healing abilities, in addition to greater resistance to toxins and pathogens, effectively granting an enhanced and perfected physiology with superhuman capabilities and enhanced mental processes. In Steve Rogers' particular case, the implementation of these chemicals was offset by the implementation of Vita radiation, which was administered during the initial phase of injection. Vita rays are electromagnetic radiation that have a stabilizing effect on biological entities, saturating the organism's cells and providing an excess of energy available for the cells to perform their functions. Seemingly, this radiation was used to supercharge the serum's cellular processes. It stands to reason then that simply injecting the serum would have enhancing effects, but would happen gradually over time, harnessing the recipient's metabolic processes and cellular genesis to see the full benefit of the alterations. so the application of Vita Rays allowed this process to be accelerated to happen over the course of a few minutes rather than days, weeks, or even months, depending on what's being changed. In any case, the result is that Steve Rogers has superior performance characteristics. The ones we're most interested in are his enhancements to his bone strength, muscle strength, reaction times, and to a lesser degree eyesight, thyroid, and healing factor, as these match up with the augmentations the Spartans are given. The Super Soldier Serum seemingly fixes any ailments, so Cap's vision is likely perfect if not superior to normal humans. He grew from 5'4" and 95 pounds to 6'2" and 240 pounds, which, while it makes him short for a Spartan, is still a significant growth factor. Cap can also heal approximately 4 times faster than an average human. Now this is slow compared to Spartans, with Chief being able to heal from an injury 10 times faster than that of an average human. But of course this is the lower level stuff. The important stuff is the gross motor performance parameters. And these parameters are slightly more difficult to substantiate, but we have some very clear examples that we can call upon within the MCU to give us a good baseline as to what Cap is capable of. Now, in regards to muscle strength, one of the greatest physical feats of strength that we've seen him demonstrate is while chasing down a fleeing Bucky Barnes in Captain America Civil War, as Bucky takes off in a helicopter. Cap actually manages to grab hold of both its landing skid and the corner of the helipad and effectively prevent it from taking off. Now the helicopter in question is an Airbus 3000, which has, interestingly enough, a 3,000 pound lifting capacity, meaning that he was able to exert at least 3,000 pounds of force here to prevent it from taking off. Now this is the equivalent of 7.5 Olympic level weightlifters. But we've also seen him lift a huge beam pinning Bucky Barnes that could weigh in excess of 10 tons, all while injured significantly. So needless to say, he meets the strength requisites of a Spartan. How about bone strength though? Well, the aforementioned scene of lifting the beam means most of his skeleton was experiencing a compressive force in excess of 10 tons, while his arms were experiencing a tensile force of in excess of 10 tons. Now 1 cubic inch of normal human bone can bear a load of 19,000 pounds, or just over 8.5 tons, so Cap's ability to take 10 tons is actually quite a modest increase over the base levels. It is worth noting, however, that connective tissue does fail sooner than bone in compressive forces, so in this regard, Cap's joints would have given way before his bones would have. Even a normal human, that would still be the case. So it's a little unclear. So what's another example? Well, when fighting Iron Man, the hand-to-hand combat should result in significant skeletal trauma due to the force and materials of the Iron Man suit. In Iron Man 3, Iron Man fights against Aldrich Killian and blocks a punch with a punch of his own, causing Aldrich Killian to severely fracture his forearm. Although he healed from it due to his extremis augmentation, the fact of the matter is that it did break his arm in a compressive force, which means that in that punch, the Iron Man armour generated more than the 19,000 pounds of compressive force required to break a human bone. And yet, as far as we can tell, during the entirety of Captain America's fight against Iron Man, Cap didn't break a single bone. Also, according to a trainer in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Cap could apparently push a 58-ton bulldozer 50 yards in 16 seconds. Now, the repetitive strain on his body and the force of his muscles working show that his bones are capable of withstanding at least half of the transverse force of the inertia of a 58-ton bulldozer, meaning he more than meets the skeletal requirements of a Spartan. Reaction time is an interesting one. We can actually gauge this in a couple of ways. 1, the twitch response of his muscles to outside stimuli, and 2, the cyclical response time of his muscles during known quantity physical feats. A good example of this is his sprint speed. This demonstrates a cyclical muscle response, and we know that Cap can run at speeds of up to 60 miles an hour, as we see him doing just that in his pursuit and assistance of Bucky Barnes during his attempted escape from Black Panther and S.H.I.E.L.D. operatives. Spartans have been known to be able to run at speeds of up to 38.5 miles an hour outside of their armour, with speeds inside of their armour being significantly more. So Cap more than qualifies here in regards to his sprint speed. And as far as twitch muscle response is concerned, Cap reacts to and blocks the repulsor beams of Iron Man during their fight. Now, it's even established that the earlier Iron Man Mark III suit had a reaction time of between 200 and 700% that of a normal human. And in this particular fight, and in this scene, Iron Man is wearing the Mark 46 suit, which is a stark upgrade on the Mark III. A stark upgrade. That was honestly complete. That was ad-libbed, that piece. That was completely by accident. Moving on. So, if Cap was able to react as fast as this, as fast as the Iron Man armour, to block that incoming repulsor blast, that means that Cap is capable of reacting at approximately the same speed as the Iron Man suit, so between 200 and 700% that of base normal. And the Spartans just so happen to have a reaction time that is 300% that of base normal. So Cap sits quite nicely within the reaction time requisites of a Spartan here as well. So the conclusion, the summary is this. Captain America, Steve Rogers, meets the gross physical parameters necessary to harness the power of MJOLNIR powered assault armour. He is able to lift more than any of the Spartan classes were capable of immediately following augmentation. That's not to say that he's capable of lifting more than them when they've acclimated to their augmentations and numerous years later, but most definitely based on the parameters established immediately following their augmentation, Captain America outperforms them. He is also able to sprint approximately 2 times faster than even the fastest Spartan out of armour, and even runs faster than the fastest recorded sprint time while wearing MJOLNIR armour, which was the Master Chief wearing the Mark V platform, who managed to top out at 58 miles per hour. His bones are more than strong enough to resist the enhanced speed and power amplification circuits of MJOLNIR powered assault armour, and despite being short for a Spartan, healing slower and having inferior vision, I am confident he could wear and harness any currently serving MJOLNIR powered assault armour platform available. His physical performance characteristics match that of the Spartan-II super soldiers in some respects, and that of the Orion candidates, or maybe even pushing to the Spartan-IV super soldiers in others, all whilst gaining these traits from an augmentation procedure not unlike that of the Spartan-IIIs, being purely chemical in nature. So the ultimate conclusion, could Steve Rogers, Captain America, be a Spartan? Yes, he absolutely could, and he'd likely outperform some of the best in class, at least in specific parameters. Let me know if that was the result you were expecting down below, and if you want me to do something similar to this with a different character in the future. And until next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider smashing the like button and leave a comment below on what you'd like me to cover next. Big shout out to my patrons, Spartan10148, the Metarch of my installation, Falcon, Prophet Bear, Mikhail, Sophia, and Ashley, my dutiful monitors. Darian, Scarab, Spartan0137, Anthony, Ghost, Aaron, Chris, Jacob, Sean, Element Zero, Somatic, Jordan J3, Dan, Mr. Keys, Directal, Gunslinger, Jacob, Bandmill, Echo, Evermore, Officer Cat, and Personal Devil, my diligent sub-monitors, my fleet of Strato Sentinels, and my loyal enforcers. And all the other patrons who have jumped aboard to support the channel. It means more to me than I can accurately put into words. Another shout out to my Tier 0 Transcendent YouTube members, Spartan137, Jacob, Schmitty, Talia, Fenrir and Born Stellar, and all the other YouTube members keeping my installation running on that glorious vacuum energy. Shout out to John for I don't fucking know. And if you want more of this kind of content, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you don't miss any future videos, and consider jumping aboard yourself as a patron or YouTube member to keep the channel alive and kicking. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.